Welcome to YogaVa's Yoga for Beginners intro series. This is part number 7. My name is Robin Regula, and we're going to be going over the standing forward fold and the high lunge. So if you're using a yoga sticky mat, you can come to the front part of your mat. And we're going to be standing with the feet parallel and hip distance apart. So when I say hip distance apart, I mean the center of the hips. So basically you can line up the second toe with the center of the heel and have that imaginary line up with about the center of the hips. So parallel feet, feet separated slightly. And just stand for a moment as tall as you are. So legs are straight. There's a little bit of a lift up through the lower belly. Lift the sternum, draw the shoulders back. And then we're going to start to hinge at the hips. So I'd like you can even place your hands there, either your thumbs or the pinky fingers, and really focus on bending at the hip joint. So as you come forward into the forward fold, you don't want to round at the waist and bend at the waist. So bend at the hips, and if you need to, bend the legs in order to do that. If the lower back is tight or the back of the legs are tight, it's going to be harder to fold at the hips. So you can always bend the legs and just start to slide the hands down the legs. So maybe pause here with the hands on the thighs just above the knees. And you can either, once again, choose what's most appropriate in your body if the legs are bent or the legs are straight. And you just want to come into that place where you first start to feel the stretch in your body. So maybe if you're more flexible, you can slide the hands down to the shins. Check in with the feet. Make sure the feet are still parallel. So we're just working in this first stage with the spine extended. And notice what that feels like in the back and in the back of the legs. And if at any point the sensation of stretching starts to ease up, you can start to slide your hands down a little bit more until once again you start to feel the sensation of stretch, but it's not too intense anywhere. And if at any point you'd like to round the spine and bring the head towards the floor, you can do that. At which point you might be able to bring your hands to the floor. And you can bring fingertips to the floor. And if you'd like to bring your hands to the floor but you can't quite reach yet, feel free to bend your knees as much as you need to bring the fingertips to the floor. If you're bending your knees, stay mindful that the knees stay as wide apart as the ankles. So if you're bending the knees, you don't want the knees to come in towards one another and point towards the inside of the big toes. So widen the thighs apart. Keep the feet planted and firmly rooted, firmly grounded on the floor. And then we're going to bend the knees and step the right leg way back. Take a big step back for the high lunge. So here you can be up on fingertips or up on the knuckles. If you have yoga blocks, you can also place one hand on top of each yoga block to give you a little bit more height to work with if that's better in your body. You want your left knee directly above your left ankle so you have a perpendicular shin. And the knee points towards the middle toes. So everything is lined up nicely. Back leg is working towards straight. So lift the back of the right knee up towards the ceiling. And if it's available to you, you can sink down through the hips a little bit more and maybe extend your spine forward. And then shift the weight forward and back. Step the back foot forward and the left leg way back. Take a lot of space in between the feet. So you're up on the ball of the back foot. You're up on the toes of the back foot. Be up on fingertips or up on knuckles on the hands. Toes point straight forward. Kneecap points straight forward. Knee is directly above the ankle. Work towards making the back leg straight. And if you can do a little bit more, if it's not too intense, you can maybe sink down through the hips a little bit and extend the spine forward. And then shift the weight forward and back, get a little momentum. Step the back foot forward. And then bend the knees. Again, feet are parallel. Knees are as wide apart as the ankles. Take the hands to the hips one at a time. Extend the spine, create a flat back. Reach the heart forward. And on an inhale, come all the way up to standing with a flat back. Release your arms down to your sides. And we'll see you in part 8 for mountain pose and the overhead stretch.